From the Ugly Beard Studios in Newcastle, California, the Lim Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey everybody, welcome back. Scott Robinson with you for another episode of Beyond the Humidor. And let me just say, it ain't exactly been Black Boy Day, or week, or year.
Wow.
Allow me to explain. Notice I'm wearing prescription glasses now because I don't have any more contact lenses. I thought I was going to be a smart motherfucker. Order my shit from lens.com.
No insurance.
No. Well, no, this was just not insurance because I ran my insurance through. So these are, on my dollar. And funny thing is, my optometrist is the one who recommended it to me and said, do it through them. It's a lot cheaper. I was like, ooh, yay. So lens.com is awesome. I went ahead, put my order in, put my prescription in. They came on Monday, which was the 11th. I get them out. I'm like, cool, I've got like a year's worth of contact lenses for a great price. Too good of a price, and let me tell you why. I wear multifocal contact lenses. Guess what these weren't?
You wear torics?
No.
Multifocal? Oh, bifocal. Okay.
Yes.
They were one vision.
Yes. Yeah, they were the right magnification, but it's like, they don't say multifocal. Well, I'll just be damned. So I called them up, told them the issue. What do you think happened? I'll tell you what happened.
You have my attention.
Since you look dumbfounded.
Uh-huh.
They said, no problem, Mr. Robinson. Here's your RMA number, and I'm emailing you something to ship it off free of charge. So slap them in a box. Put this tag on there, send it off. Once we get it, you get a refund. You need help ordering your new ones? Nope. Order the next one straight off. They'll be here next week. No muss, no fuss. Lens.com is awesome.
Meanwhile, you're doing your Urkel impression.
And then, but wait, there's more. That's not a happy ending. And I know you conspired with Big Bacon, fucker. I know you did.
Oh, we got to go this again. All right.
Damn right we are.
Where's the speech? I got to read it.
No. So, there's a particular bacon that I enjoy that the green grocer over here, their bacon stock is, for lack of a better word, lacking. I'm not going to say anything mean. It's just lacking. But there's a store about a quarter of a mile down that has this wonderful, thick-cut maple bacon that I buy religiously. Shut up. So I go over there the other week, and they didn't have any more. I'm like, oh, I remember they had a sale on it, so they just cleaned out. I'll just wait for them to stock some more on Tuesday. I get over there, and another young woman is next to me. I asked the person, say, hey, do you guys have any more of this bacon? No, and I don't even see a tag for it. So her and I looked at each other like, well, what happened? Oh, I don't know. So then I went on a bacon expedition. It's really sad that I put that sentence together. A literal bacon expedition at other stores. I came across a butcher at one, and I asked him, did you guys discontinue that delicious thick-cut maple bacon? And he said, yes, I'm sorry we did. I looked at him and said, was it killing lab rats? And if it was, I don't care.
My evil plan is halfway there.
It is halfway there. So I'm using too much profane language. So they fudged me on my bacon, and now I'm on the search for another thick-cut bacon.
Hey, man. Can anybody hear me? Because I can't hear me.
I can hear you, sir.
We can hear you. You can't hear any of us because something's up with your headphones.
Can I explain something to you that you may not have recognized?
What's that, sir?
You're the only one in this group that can do this because being gainfully employed, we don't have time to look for new bacon.
Pretty much.
So find us some good bacon, man. While you're out there doing the deed.
It just had to come up, didn't it?
So can we talk about the beer yet?
No, I'm still talking about the bacon. I'm angry. I want to know what you told Big Bacon, because I know you conspired with them, and then your wife stirs the pot. She sends me an article that was reviewing the bacon and called the ingredients problematic. Because some goddamn hippie doesn't like the additives in the bacon and claims it's it's genetically altered. So I don't care. The bacon was delicious.
So let me disillusion you of that argument for just a second. If you take one pig that's one breed and it mates with another pig that's another breed, congratulations, you've just genetically modified it. That hippie argument goes out the window. Anyway.
That's nice, but that doesn't help my bacon issue.
I know, you're having bacon withdrawals. We're sorry. There's got to be a program for you to go into.
There's got to be something.
I need some GD bacon is what I need.
May I suggest Oscar Mayer? Thin cut. Turkey.
Ah!
Where is it?
Handgun?
No.
Oh, you got to knife him.
No, he's got his little dull Kershaw.
Oh, Christ.
I will
man.
carve you into carnitas.
Okay.
Hey, man. We just hung out 4/5 of the day Monday. Today is only Wednesday. What happened? Because you were running some wheelbarrow-sized balls today, my friend. You were just out there swinging for the fence, just fucking with everybody.
Why not? It's fun.
Did an attractive woman give you a nice comment or something?
Maybe.
Kind of pumped your chest up a little bit?
Tell
Maybe.
you it looks like you've been waxing your head or what?
Maybe.
All right.
For all those audience members that believe that, I have a bridge to sell
we
you.
were talking the other day. We got to get the gorilla cam soon, because the fact that the gorilla is just sitting here like he wants to shoot himself in the foot. Well, what's going on, man? What's the matter? What's
You
the
all
problem?
right, man?
Producer Gorilla's going to come in here.
Okay.
I will
please.
cut the bacon drama into the episode somewhere. Can we re-roll the intro and get a different intro for the 100th episode of the show, as opposed to a direct into Scott's sadness? You don't have to. Editing Gorilla is thinking about the future. It's like,
I was going to say, we're just hearkening back to when he'd go on a rant every damned episode we opened up, so why not?
No, I opened up and I'm telling people part of my life that's important to me. What, it's not important enough to be on the 100th episode? Is that where we are now?
Larry,
I got it.
bacon is a bacon deficit apparently is a first world problem.
Hey, man, I am 293 pounds. Bacon is a serious fucking problem here. I don't think it's not.
Thank you.
I don't think it's not over there. Just because because your establishment sells subpar bacon, sir.
Well, that's what you're getting for breakfast on our camping trip, and like it.
It's bold of you to feel I'm going to be eating off of your stove, sir.
You think I don't have choices? Now, mind you, as of late, I have been eating more turkey bacon than real bacon, but I kind of stretch it out. No.
Hey,
And I'll tell you
bullshit.
why.
You're not justifying this.
No,
to me.
I can fully justify this, and you will be able to understand this. I guarantee you. Give me 30 seconds.
Hear that? That's my wife calling to tell you fuck you and your turkey bacon.
No. You don't have to. Look, I'm talking about me eating turkey bacon. I'm not telling you turkey bacon's great and you need to eat it. I'm just doing it for me because I needed to dump weight, because when I found out my A1C was nearing diabetic point, I'm like, I'm not sticking myself with needles 3 times a day and pricking my finger to find out what my blood sugar is.
Hey, man.
No thanks, man.
Hey, man.
Yo.
Tell us the truth. Is this a cry for help?
Yeah, sounds
My
like it.
life's a goddamn cry for help at this point.
So
Good point,
Larry,
sir.
we're drinking beer.
We are. Well, some of us are. If I would have thought about it, I would have brought down one of my grandson's sippy cups.
You should have. I'd have used it. I'm not scared. So
Today's word on Sesame Street is dignity.
Yeah.
you lost that a long time ago,
Sponsored
man.
I was talking about you, fucko.
I don't have any. I don't care.
Letters WTF.
So
Yeah, this is the actual final product of the homebrew class we were talking about a few episodes back. So we got to come home with 5 gallons of wort, which is the precursor to beer. And this is the fermented product and bottled and chilled. And here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Gorilla? Clink.
Cha-chink. So. No chinks? Okay. My bad.
Okay. Anyway, this beer is life. When we started the episode, we were in the dark, but now we are into the light.
Oh, God, it is a cry for help.
Oh my God, this beer is wonderful. And just so for the record, because I see Gorilla sitting there face palming himself, I have not even had a glass of this, so I am not drunk. I am sober as a judge. But this beer is life right here. Props to the little wife.
Yeah, it
because
turned out
It is.
good,
It is
didn't
pretty good.
She made some beer finery. I want to buy her like a monk suit for Christmas, and if I had the money, which I don't, is get like a little castle up on a hill and have people chanting as she makes this beer.
Too much.
No, this beer is wonderful.
No, it turned out really well. It came out at what, 6.2? Anthony, is that what it was?
Just 7.1.
7.1. Okay.
Really?
So, but it's got a really caramely flavor to it. I think is the best way I could describe it.
I like it.
It's an amber, is what the recipe says. But yeah, definitely a pretty good ride for the first trial, I'm thinking. So definitely something we're going to do again here in the near future.
My friend,
Sir.
I don't want to be presumptuous because your wife created this goodness. I don't want to go.
Oh, well, please help yourself.
Well, you need some too.
Well, you go ahead.
No, because I am not being presumptuous.
There you go.
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
Todos bien, my friend. Gregory, you want a nipple for that? Or are you doing all right?
I'm doing fine. Dude, this is...
And for those of you trying to keep up at home, this is the one that about 4 or 5 episodes back now we were talking about going to the class and brewing and making, and there were some video clips from it. So just for those of you that are trying to keep track on your scorecards at home.
Yeah. For those of you that are still with us, that haven't just chucked in the towel and going the hell with these clowns.
So, well, there's that. But, I'm not a fan of beer in general because most of them taste generic the same and they taste of nothing. So, in this case, I actually like this. This has flavor. It doesn't have a bitter note to it. I get the sweet caramel note to it. I like it. Don't think too difficult on this, Mr. Robinson.
No.
Convert.
No.
If it's this quality, yes.
You need to go beer tasting with us more, because when you say it all tastes the same,
It does.
no, it doesn't,
Yes, it does.
dude.
So I'm going to be interested to see. I want to do the same recipe again, but instead of bottling it, I want to keg it, because the beer goods store also sells the 5-gallon kegs that are resealable, so you can fill it and then put it in your little kegerator cooler and pressurize that with the CO2. I want to see what the difference is from bottled to keg on this type of beer, because there is a difference to me for the standard beer you buy, off the shelf at the grocery store or out of the gas station cooler. A Budweiser tastes different coming off a draft than it does coming out of a bottle or can.
No, very true.
Sierra Nevada tastes different coming out of bottle as opposed to coming out of a draft. And so I'd be interested to see what the difference is. I think that being in the keg on the gas is going to kind of smooth that out just a little bit.
I think so.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean the preferred service of beer is out of the tap.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Bottle I can live with. Canned is not my first choice. Although if I'm at someone's house and they hand me a can of beer, I'm not going to go, ew. Hey,
You're going to
I'll
poke
be
a hole
good
in it with
guest.
your car key, and you're going to shotgun it.
You're goddamn right.
There we
So,
go.
so question for the regular beer drinkers:
Yes, sir.
carbonation wise, how does this beer sit?
Carbonation is just fine.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I was curious.
I think it turned out really well.
I was curious because obviously, if you keg it, you're carbonating it in the keg with gas. This was done in the bottle with the remnants of the yeast colony eating a little bit of sugar. So,
Yeah, which I was really fascinated by doing that because I was like, is it going to have enough carbonation was my question. I knew the flavor would be off the chain, but the carbonation, it was like, well, it might be a little disappointing in the way of carbonation, but no, this does just fine.
Well, and I think some commercially produced beers are overcarbonated. There's certain stuff that if we buy in a can or a bottle, I will just free pour
Yeah, you have to.
to get that, 5 inches ahead in the glass to break some of that up so it's not so heavily carbonated that after a beer and a half you're bloated.
That's funny because I was this age when I found out all these years I was pouring wrong for a lot of beers. And it was funny. I was watching John Taffer, Bar Rescue, and he was explaining because it's like I knew restaurant guys and bartenders. They'd be like, they do the pour where you lean it so you don't have too much head, and then you build the head up on it. And Taffer put a napkin in it, and all that foam and crap came out of it. He said, that's what's in your gut. So you got to pour this out because you got to expel all of that.
And
to
it's
get it right.
and it's different from beer to beer.
Right.
There's one of the ones that I used to drink out of the bottle quite a bit that we would, free pour to get that more of that head was Killian's Irish Red.
Yeah. I know Killian.
And that was, I could do, if I poured those out into a glass, I could drink 5 or 6 more of those over the course of a night than if I was drinking them straight out of the bottle.
Right.
Because you were letting out some of that carbonation. You get so bloated and so full that it's like, oh man, I've had enough. So yeah, it definitely, the carbonation definitely makes a difference. And you can tell, in the first part of the pour, it's like, wow, is this really heavy? If it starts to foam really heavy, even as you're tilting the glass to pour, then just go ahead and set that glass up and pour it out.
Yep.
Even if you're only pouring half the bottle and you end up with a third or more of the glass with head, let that calm down, drink it. You're going to end up with a better experience. It's going to be a better beer for doing that.
Yeah, I got to laugh in my college days. Used to, don't have a whole lot of money. I don't know about everybody else, but you got cheap beer. I remember my roommate and I, Paul Crabtree, baseball player. Saturday night, we're sitting there scrounging for like nickels and coins under the bed, under the couch and shit, so that we could get $3.25 for a freaking 12 pack of Meisterbrow. And you sit there struggling after your second beer. It's like, oh God, I feel bloated, but I have no buzz. And you're sitting there forcing yourself to drink it so you can get some type of a buzz, even though Meisterbrow was probably 2% alcohol. But, you do what you can.
Well,
So what you're saying is I got to go to Bevmo and get you some of that for the party, huh?
But Meisterbrow?
Mhm.
If you get Meisterbrow for the party, it's going to be a party because we're going to have to reserve a table, and we are going to do quarters and Mexicali simultaneously.
ooh, negative, Ghost Rider.
Oh,
If Larry's backing out, I'm out.
no. Me, Sherry, and anyone else who's got the nuts, we will do simultaneous quarters and Mexicali.
You sure you want to do that?
Hey, life's an experience. I
Yeah.
go by the way what Hemingway
you
thought.
a big fella to carry home.
He's got extra beds and shit.
There we
Just
go.
plop me on the couch.
And you saw what happened to his brother a couple of 4th of Julys ago when he tried that shit.
My wife can tell you stories.
Oh, I'm sure she can.
Oh yeah, she can tell you stories.
Am I gonna have to roll her out in the robe and the championship belt? This is gonna be like a heavyweight fight, man. She's 429-0, man.
Oh,
Manny Pacquiao ain't got shit on her.
if you want to do some shit like that, I will come out like Prince Nassim Hamed. I will flip over chairs. I will rent a badass car so I can show up, get a Bluetooth speaker, play some shit as I come out with my belt. Oh yeah, it's on.
Right.
Oh, that'd be good times, man. Good times.
Wish you luck. What are we smoking, Greg?
Yes, what are we smoking, my friend?
So today's choice, couple episodes back, we talked to Sammy with Supreme Tobacco. They
boy.
produced the Bohiccio cigar. So the three of us have the Bohiccio colors in a Robusto. It is a 5x50, of course. Is a natural wrapper. Wrappers Ecuadorian Habano. Binders broadleaf. Filler is Corojo. They're handmade in the Dominican Republic out of Haitian tobacco. You know, I go back to my first experience smoking a Bohiccio. Of course, it was the other cigar, and I'm blanking on that name right now. I'd have to look it up. But that was such a great cigar. That was the first cigar of the morning at PCA Day number 2 for us. Paired with that rum that they had, it was just incredible. And these are stellar cigars. And what really gets me the best is the price point. The price point is really, really affordable. I'm just looking at the regular Bohiccio Churchill, and a box of 20 is $260. That's dirt cheap.
Yeah, it is.
And that's through Neptune.
I like the Robustos, and those are under $200.
Yeah, $200 for a box.
Yeah.
That's the MSRP. Of course, Neptune's price is better than that, and we're not going to go into that. But, you know, if someone's looking for a premium cigar in the affordability category, these are perfect because you've got everything that I associate with a high-quality cigar. You've got a beautiful roll, spotless wrapper leaves, perfect amount of flavor, right amount of smoke when you smoke the cigar. For a $9 to $10 stick, man,
Well,
that's amazing.
The one thing I think you slipped up on a little bit, no judgment on this, though, is the fact that I think, you know, this is a boutique cigar. Because when you think about it, I mean, these are the only cats who are doing cigars with the Haitian filler
Right.
and binder, and then the wrapper is Dominican. That's unique. That's a boutique deal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is incredible. I mean, this is something you whip out as a conversation starter. And some people think that boutique cigars are just way out there or just low price point or just people just getting into it like hobbyists. But you've got a lot of boutique cigars out there that are, you know, going toe to toe with the with mainstream cigars.
Right. Right. And I think that it's really a unique time that we're in right now as cigar smokers because a lot of the boutique brands out there, you know, Bohiccio, Apostate, the names can go on.
Yes.
And I read a comment on this the other day, but I'm going to say this anyway. I think they're better than most of my average generals that you smoke all the time. I think boutique has stepped up their game so well that they're going to start giving the mainstreams a run for their money, and I can't wait to watch how this all plays out.
Well, I don't want to think of it that way because there's room for everybody in the cigar game. I mean, you got cats who love quorums, which aren't necessarily in my wheelhouse, but hey, there's room for everybody. You know.
Yeah, you're
people
welcome
will-
on that, by the way.
Hey,
I
no,
sacrificed myself while I was at your house the last time.
hey, there's truth in it, though. I mean, you get some cats who will turn their nose at boutique cigars because they want to go for top shelf, the Atabays, the Byrons, top shelf Avos, or, you know, they don't smoke anything that's not. I mean, it's a small minority within a minority of a cigar community that will talk about pre-embargoes who are related to, like, you know, oil sheiks and such.
Right.
Or people keep up with the Joneses.
Politicians.
Or whatever, or Image, who are going to go for those top shelf cigars.
Right.
And then there's, you know, the rest of us, it's just a matter of, I want a good cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's a good Rocky or a good boutique cigar or whatever, but this is what I'm going for. It's a comfortable cigar. I like it. And we've talked about this a million times. You got to venture out because there is so much, and there is so much room for everybody. And the beauty of the cigar community is that no one is in competition per se with everyone else. It's basically, I make this cigar for a crowd who likes the cigar. It's not, hey, I'm trying to go toe to toe with Rocky's stuff, and Rocky makes a whole bunch of stuff, good stuff. And I was reading an article on Rocky. Rocky's like a mad scientist. He likes to experiment with blends and such and giving people variety, and there's nothing wrong with that. He makes some damn good cigars. But then you've got the boutique cigars who are coming in like, hey, let's, try this out. I'm not telling you to shy away from Rocky and say that Rocky is crap. I'm saying, hey, try this one out and put it in your rotation.
Yeah.
If you've smoked cigars long enough, you have a rotation. And then when you come across one, i.e. Apostate. Before Apostate was on the scene, there was plenty of stuff to smoke. My go-to is Illusion, the pre-Sandinistan Nicaraguan tobacco. Awesome stuff. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to, look at Apostate and go, well, no, I'm going to go to my go-to. It's like, no, I want to give it a try and see what it is. And we know how good Apostate is.
I hate to say it, my friend, but you are the exception to the rule in that. We all are for this group, because we've said this on several shows. We're all guilty of it too. I am. We get into a rut and we smoke the same 2 or 3 cigars and we fail to look past those. And just like other shops, when we went to the Vault, I mean, you got Warped. That's a line that I never heard of because it's not out here.
Yeah.
Well, and look at, we went to Lodi. That was the first time we went down there. That was the first time we saw Big Sky.
Yes.
And they got some great cigars.
Absolutely.
The one thing I'm curious about to watch and see what happens over the next few years is, are some of these boutique companies going to get swallowed up by the bigger houses?
I hope not.
Well, think about that. You look at some of in the craft beer stuff, where like one of the local ones around here from a few years ago, if you were into ciders at all, you knew Fox Barrel Cider Company up in Colfax.
That happened while I was living up there, and the locals were pissed about that.
I mean,
I can imagine.
Some of the best cider I've ever had, Fox Barrel. They had a pear cider that was unbelievable. They got bought out by Coors, I think it was. And, so we've seen that quite a few times in the craft beer industry, starting to see it a little bit in the craft spirits. Not so much a buyout. The craft spirits are doing it a little different. They're collaborating with music artists or professional athletes or whatever to do a collaboration on a product. So it has its own brand name, but it's also being distilled. Some of it, not all of it, is being distilled by a major distiller. I'm going to be curious to see over the next handful of years how well the boutique side of the cigar industry sustains itself. I think they've done very well so far.
Yes.
There's been, and I think COVID helped that out. Right, wrong, or indifferent. The guys that were entrenched in the cigar community, I think for the most part, we experimented a little bit more during COVID because, with some of the supply chain issues, with some of the other issues, the closing of businesses, depending on what state you're in, COVID created some real hardships for especially smaller brick and mortars.
Right.
So, you were able, okay, your brick and mortar wasn't open. What do we do? You got guys that had never bought a cigar off the internet are starting to buy some stuff off the internet. You got supply chain issues where when you were able to get to that brick and mortar, they didn't have some of the go-to regular stuff that you smoked. So you were forced to, hey, maybe I need to look at this, or, what do you have that's like this? And then the proprietor would put you into something that may be another mainstream brand, may have not have been. It may have been, something that was a little lesser known to you in this area. So I think all those things have benefited the industry in general, but especially the boutiques. And the boutique guys, man, they just hit the scene hard in the last few years with their marketing, their packaging, and their product. I mean, there's just some fantastic boutique cigars, like Scott was saying. But it's the whole package. There's great promotion behind it. The industry has really wrapped their arms around the boutique community too, because I think the big houses realize that everyone thrives when these guys thrive, because we don't like every cigar we smoke. You may try something, and it doesn't have to be a boutique line. You may try something that's been outside your wheelhouse, and it doesn't really matter who makes it. If it's not in your wheelhouse, it's not in your wheelhouse. So you gravitate back towards something you're comfortable with, or towards something new that you think might be, so it's just an ongoing process, and it's great to see companies like this putting out a fantastic product.
No
Both
doubt.
of the Bajiquios that I've smoked, I've really enjoyed. Gorilla's got the other one.
What? Yeah, what is this other one?
That we got? That was what we smoked
At PCA.
At PCA, that was their launch cigar.
So
While Greg's looking that up, so I get a bag of cigars from my dad, 2 Bohiquios and 2 that are super secret. And then I was told, you can't smoke any of these, which, fuck all of you. And then he says, oh, no, okay, you can smoke the Bohiquios, but don't smoke those other 2, which is a shame, and this is no disrespect to Bohiquio. I really want to smoke the other 2. I really, really do.
I know I'm in the
know.
same boat.
God damn it, I'm so angry. So I smoked both the Bohiquios, and then my dad tells me day before yesterday, oh, by the way, one of those Bohiquios we're smoking on the show. I'm like, well, it sucks for me, because I smoked mine already.
Don Robinsini needs to intervene here. It's
Speak
unfortunate.
into the microphone, jackass.
It's unfortunate that you are unable to smoke the finery that we are
We already
smoking
smoked
today.
I
that
already
one.
smoked it. That's what the
Oh,
whole
you
story I
want-
just said,
but-
is I already smoked it.
We wanted you to smoke it now.
Well,
And you're sad
talk to the
now.
big white one next to sorry, the bearded big white one next to you. He's the one that told me I could smoke it.
what do you got to say to that, Don?
Bonacera.
I'm
Why
not
do
kissing
you-
your ring. Knock it off.
Why do you treat me so disrespectfully?
Because he's the camera
because I
gorilla.
can delete the YouTube
Probably
channel.
the stuff fever and the fucked up glasses, but that's just a guess.
So
No, in all seriousness. Oh God.
Had
Jesus
you
Christ.
kept your mouth shut, I would have ordered these, and some of them would have been yours. And if an honest person like yourself would make enemies, then they would become my enemies.
Oh, Christ.
And then they would fear you.
Here we go.
how's the unemployed Don going to order cigars anyway?
That is getting less funny every time you say it. Let me explain the anatomy of a joke, Gregory.
Jesus Christ.
You do it once, and it's
just-
funny.
I
If you
just
keep
wanted to know
doing
what
it, it's
cigar I
like
was
beating
smoking.
a dead
I'm
horse.
trying to get there, but he keeps interrupting me.
I just
Dead
wanted
whore.
to know what cigar I
Dead
was
whore,
smoking.
not dead horse.
So it's the Bohiquio. It's a Colorado Maduro wrapper. Sun-grown Habano is the wrapper type. Binder and filler are both Haitian. And it doesn't say anything else other than that. Medium-bodied cigar, binder and filler fully composed of premium Haitian tobacco, expertly covered by a beautiful red-hewn sun-grown Habano Colorado Maduro wrapper.
So yeah, I smoked over the last couple days. I smoked both this one and the one you guys are
Colors,
smoking.
yeah.
The colors. Both were good, but I like this one just a tiny bit more. I'm not sure why. I can't put my
Really?
finger on why.
And
the
see
colors
it-
is really good, but I like this one, especially in this size.
It's been a year since I've smoked that one, so I can't quite remember the flavor profile. I just know I enjoyed that one.
Both of them I think are really good. This one, the colors has a little bit earthier flavor to me than the regular Bohiccio. The regular Bohiccio that Anthony's smoking right now, I think, is a little pepper back end.
Little bit, yeah.
Where I don't get that at all on this. I don't get any pepper on that one on the initial draw, but on the exhale of that one, there's a tiny bit of pepper. That's how I break down the difference between these two. They're both great cigars.
I would say the difference between the two that I liked that made me like this one more is I tend to like cigar. I don't dislike earthy cigars. I really like the colors, but I like cigars that lean more, I guess, woody or leathery as opposed to earthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll make sense to some people out there, but that's why this one is just a little bit more of a nudge my direction. And I will say, and I'll ask this since we're doing cigars and homemade beer, how is that cigar pairing with the beer? Or is it? Or is
I think
not?
it's good. Because it doesn't have that pepper effect. I have a hard time with the peppery cigars and a beer.
I know this is the most like childish thing to say right after that. Any carbonated drinks. I get the same thing if I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper with a really peppery cigar. I don't like it because that peppery and the carbonation kind of fucks with each other.
Yeah. Scott?
Curious.
Now,
There's a place for that. No. I'm not.
We've talked about this on the episode before. We had one of our guests said one of his favorite things to pair with cigars.
Yeah, it was
is
the Dr. Pepper, the creamsicle Dr. Pepper or whatever it's called.
Okay, that's a bit crazy for me even, but but so I asked that because for this one it did something weird with the beer. It didn't not pair with the beer, but the kind of my beer palate isn't great. I don't drink a lot of beer, so I did taste a little bit of the bittery hops in the beer, which is fine. It was still good, but the bittery hops and the kind of all cigar, slightly bitter tobacco-y taste you'll get from cigars kind of canceled each other out. So when I was sipping the beer, I wasn't really tasting that bitterness anymore. I got a lot more like the green, almost citrusy from like the hops, more the green flavor of the hops, not that bitter
That
beer
makes
flavor.
sense.
And it completely changed the taste of the beer. Not for better or for worse. It was just, it's like those two canceled each other out so I could experience the other parts of the beer. It's so weird.
No,
But-
right on. We're getting down to about close to the nub on this. So I just want to hear your impressions of the colors as you're getting closer to the nub.
I'm really liking this cigar. I smoked one of these the other day because I ended up with, after I gave him stuff, I ended up with 2 and 2. So I smoked one of these probably. It was Friday when we were on our way to Rib Fest. I smoked one of these in the truck on the way up. I enjoy this a lot. It burns really well. It's got a really nice, smooth flavor. There's nothing really heavy about it as far as the flavor profile goes. I think it'd be a good coffee cigar. Matter of fact, it was. I had a coffee with it, a week ago Friday morning.
Right.
It's pairing pretty well with the beer. I'm really interested to see once they get the wrapper leaf figured out.
When they perfect the Haitian wrapper, that's going to be amazing.
Because what's that going to do to change that? Because this has a different flavor than just about anything I've smoked, and I'm attributing that to the Haitian filler and binder.
Got you.
Really interested in seeing what the cigar is going to be, or the next cigar, or whenever they come out with 100% Haitian tobacco cigar. wrapper leaf and everything.
Right on. Greg, how about you? How are you doing there on the colors?
I got no complaints. I mean, when it comes down to flavor, ease of smoke, it's on par with anything else I'd ever smoked. You know, they one of the things I enjoyed about their original interview was how that they were just this little bitty guys starting out. And guys, I got to tell you, your little bitty attitude is great, but you guys are giants with what you're doing, because the cigar is such great quality. The construction's perfect. This one's, to me, this is more earthy. You know, I switched over to tea, and probably not the best choice for this, but the earthy, warm, rich tones that I'm getting out of the cigar, it's really, really pleasant. It makes it more enjoyable. I put it on par with one of my regular rotations. I got to order some.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I feel the same way.
So here's a question for you, and especially you, Greg. How dramatically different would you think this blend would be in a Lancero?
Oh, so this one, you know, they put this as a medium scale on the reviews at Neptune. Yes, I think it's a medium body, but as far as the flavor goes, I think this is a full flavor, forward cigar with its tones and richness and everything. If you put that into a 38 ring gauge Lancero from a 50, you're going to up the flavor profile. The true flavor chaser that smokes Lanceros would love that.
Yeah.
I would, because I'm getting all flavor without any mellow notes. It's going to be a kick in the teeth as far as flavor goes. Got to be something they got to try.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be explosive.
Well, and then the flip side of that is how much more flavor, what would be the difference in flavor if you went to a 52 or 60 ring gauge in something like this?
Ooh.
Think about how much of that Haitian tobacco you'd have in the binder and filler in a 60 ring gauge on this.
Yeah.
This is your friendly reminder. Try your favorite cigar in different sizes.
Yeah.
You will be surprised.
My man.
I started doing that way back after Greg went on a rant about Lanceros on the episode, and it is one of the when I have friends who start smoking, if they get into it, the next thing I'll suggest after a couple cigars is, okay, if you like that, do this. Either go bigger or go smaller and see how you like it.
Right.
Because it makes a huge difference. And shut up, you don't look like a prissy man holding a tiny cigar. Calm down.
No, he smoked a Lancero with me on Monday.
I'm not talking to anyone. I'm talking to the ether. I'm sorry that you projected that onto Scott for me.
No.
You.
Not on Scott. No.
No. The proprietor of Tobacco Republic educated me 10 years ago with regards to Lanceros, because that was my reaction.
I believe the phrase IP standing up came out.
Yes, it did.
But, you know, and that's the thing I think with cigars is that, yes, we're good. Same conversation as earlier. We get into our habits and our hobbies and where we get stuck at. But to really experience a line, go back to when Ed was on the show, Ed Trevino, now with Luciano Cigars.
Right.
Remember, when he was saying, a blender blends to a specific size. We then create the other sizes that you see. So, for example, the Fiat Lux, in his case, when he was on our program, it's meant to be smoked in a Corona, which is 437 by 4 or 5, I think. And I've tried both, a smaller ring gauge and a larger. The Corona was beautiful. It had a lot of flavor to it, and it did do the canceling notes. You guys will have to go back to that episode, but when it went to a larger ring gauge, it got so mellow that it diluted out and it didn't taste the same. So, don't be afraid. I agree with you entirely, Anthony. You have to try the other sizes. You will find the right one for you.
Or even find one where you go, this is my favorite, but I'm not feeling quite that level of power right now, so I'll smoke a bigger one. Or, no, today was a good day. I want to have a good experience. I'll go for this. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's like having a bottle of whiskey that you can mix different ways for different drinks depending on what you're feeling.
There you go. I can't say enough about this cigar. I think everyone has, brought this all together with regards to this cigar. This is a definite favorite and could very well be a go-to considering the price point. It's not inaccessible. It has great flavor. if you get a chance, if you get the opportunity to smoke this, definitely pair it with a Haitian rum.
Yes.
And it's just a fantastic experience. Now, before we go, I want to talk about the fact that this is the 100th episode.
It is.
So I want to take a few minutes, because I know we had plans to talk about 2 other things, but I have a plan for that.
I agree with your plan.
Okay, so we got about 6 or 7 minutes to just talk about the fact that this is our 100th episode. We have been at this for about 4 years now, and it's been a wild frickin' ride.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
with that, we say goodbye to you. And no, I'm kidding.
Goodbye. Farewell. Amen.
Goodbye, cruel world. Damn you, Daddy.
No, I mean, you know, looking back on 100 shows and 4 years worth, would I have ever dreamed we would have been doing this long? No. Would I have ever dreamed we'd have so much fun doing it? Not at all. I mean, it's been truly an experience, and I, for one, can't wait to see what's going on next.
For me, I wanted to ride this train until the wheels fell off, whether it came down to 4 episodes, the dreaded 7 episodes where podcasts die, further on, and even with our hiatus when we retooled and we put together a formula that truly worked, you know, with the 4 of us. It's, just an incredible ride. I am grateful to our listeners and viewers out there who have stuck with us.
Sorry.
Hey.
Stockholm
you're done.
Syndrome. You're stuck now.
Yep.
Yeah, seek professional help.
Yeah, it goes for the host as well.
Yeah, that should be an ad. We should be an ad for the AMA.
Actually, you know what? We should get better help as a sponsor.
HopeCalifornia.com.
Are you still listening to this podcast at episode 112? You need help.
Yeah.
Thankfully, with our sponsor.
So, Larry, I'm curious to know your thoughts on 100 episodes.
You know, we've talked about this before. When this whole thing got started 4 years ago, I was not interested at all in sitting behind a microphone. Absolutely was not. And, you know, in the beginning, with the few times that I was on, that we had so many people involved, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. I mean this with no disrespect to anyone. There was, and this is just my personal feeling, there was so many people involved that I personally felt like everybody was waiting for their turn to talk.
Yeah.
And when you went back and listened to some of those first episodes, that's how it sounded too. It didn't flow very well. We had some great topics. We had some great stuff, some great information out there, but it just seemed strained. And, I never thought we'd be 4 years into this or 100 episodes into this. And I honestly did not think that I would enjoy doing this as much as I do. This has been a kick in the ass. We've got to go places and meet some fantastic people, which is part of the cigar journey to begin with, which is how the 3 of us met, was, because of cigars. And that's the part, that's it. For me, that's the whole thing. We can take this on the road. We can talk about it. It's just another talking point for us when we're somewhere. Greg and I went out through my business. I sponsor, or am a sponsor for a handful of golf tournaments throughout the year. And one of the big ones we do is it's a Shriners Hospital golf tournament that a local realtor organizes and has been doing for quite some time. And we go out and we get a golf cart and we drive around and hand out cigars and talk to people about cigars. And I've been amazed the last 3 years how well received that is. I mean, cigars are always, you're either in for it or you're not.
Right.
You know, people are like, oh yeah, shit, I'll try one. I haven't smoked in 6 months, or, you know, I forgot to bring my cigars. You know, I'm glad you guys are here. But then they see the logo on the shirt, or they see one of the decals, and they're like, what the hell is this podcast thing? Tell me about this. And I have not had one, I think you guys can say this too, I have not had one person look at it and go, that's fucking stupid.
Never.
You know? They may think that, but they don't say that to our face. So, that's a cool thing, I guess.
Dude, the size of us. Are they really going to
Well,
say
you
that?
know. Look at some of the people we deal with. They're not the brightest on the planet. But, yeah, I mean, this has been a cool run. As far as hobbies go, I think this is pretty cool. You know, we've got to do some stuff in the cigar community that we wouldn't necessarily get to do as just regular cigar smokers, you know.
Right.
Going to PCA, getting into Rocky Mountain earlier because of the media pass and that kind of stuff is just cool. And I think PCA last year was probably one of the coolest things I've done.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I've been to different events for different industries, you know, for the bar and restaurant business, you know, and liquor events way back in the day. I've been to massive real estate events because I worked, you know, in that community as an affiliate. I've been to a ton of that kind of stuff, and that PCA event was the best event I've ever been to.
Amen.
That thing was so cool. We got to meet so many cool people, and yeah, I just hope this keeps going. You know.
Yep, I feel the same way.
4 more years.
4 more years.
4 more beers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that too.
we're out of beer. How'd that happen?
Shit happens.
Okay. Gorilla, any final thoughts?
Very similar to a bunch of stuff you guys. I remember driving around doing deliveries for my dad, listening to the early episodes, and then being dragged in to push buttons for you guys. I actually remember the exact episode that I first did that on because, surprise, we do have an in-studio audience this episode. That was actually I believe it's episode 60-something, 65 maybe, 62, something like that. Traveling with Cigars, featuring our number one fan, Tommy, who is hanging out in studio. I say studio lightly, but, you know.
Hey, bitch, we do what we do.
And a little bit of behind the scenes, not too much behind the scenes. I think at one point, in like the late 70s, early 80s episodes, Camera Gorilla got this was Camera Monkey back then. Camera Monkey got the feeling that trying to move around recording dates and meet at the shop and do all that was starting to get a little stressful on one or more of the 3 hosts. And Camera Gorilla kind of went outside of his boundaries and called them for a meeting. That was a very weird afternoon. But said, hey, I'm willing to do this, and this for you because I can tell you guys enjoy doing this. But I can also tell that in another, 6 months, one or all 3 of you is going to get real tired of trying to micromanage all the pieces that you have to micromanage.
And we appreciate it, Gorilla.
Whether that's record, because that was also right around the time that you guys found out that at some point you would have to move recording space because Tobacco Republic was going to get renovated.
Right.
So I'm like, I will take some of the burden so you guys can actually keep having fun with this and have it feel like less of a job. And I'm glad I did because we made it to 100 and no one killed anyone. So
It's still early yet.
It's still early.
Yeah.
there's just vague threats, and we can live.
Well,
with
there's
that.
vague threats when we're not on camera and we're hanging out. So
That's fair.
And I think that's been the best part, because we got to get our live set up here real quick. But we don't bullshit people. The 3 guys and the disembodied voice behind the camera. If you meet us in real life, you meet the same people. There's no acting. There's no fakery. There's no nothing. It's just 4 dudes enjoy cigars, bullshit with each other, have a good time, laugh at each other, and I think that too has been one of the keys to our success.
Absolutely, I agree. So with that, we have the 100th episode, and we have unleashed the gorilla,
God help us.
and we will be having
It's
a
Planet
very...
of the motherfucking apes in here.
Yes! That is the name of the damn episode.
Planet of the apes, no.
I love it. I freaking love it,
No,
Dr. Zayas.
Camera Gorilla will say that at some point after you hear this episode, whether it's in the next few days, within the next week, hopefully before the next real episode, there will be a bonus audio only and video. It'll be available everywhere you get the podcast. There will be a highlights reel, the best of Beyond the Humidor first 100 episodes.
I love it. I
featuring
love it.
favorites like Two Queens and a Pullout, Enough with the Sex Robots, and more.
The and more is what scares
which are
me.
Yes.
names of actual episodes for those of you that don't know.
I remember that episode. That episode was hilarious. We got to
What's
get
wrong with Scott today?
we got to
I
get
believe
Terry.
also-
We got to get Terry back on the show and Pat. Anyway,
Take me home. Well, my beer glass for some reason is empty, Lawrence, and my cigar's down to the nub, so it's about that time. Before I go anywhere, thank you so much for sticking with us. If you were here, started at episode 1, or you picked us up at episode 24, or you're just picking it up right now, I appreciate you. All of us here at Beyond the Humidor appreciate you, and
Thank
hope
you.
you stay tuned for more episodes. Check us out at LumaCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, even though I've been remiss and have not been keeping up on Instagram, but I'll do better. Drop us a line wherever you are and let us know you're out there. I'm Scott Robinson, and on behalf of all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on another 100 more episodes.
Yep.
Or as Gorilla says, 4 more years. 4 more years. But hey, until then, you guys stay healthy and safe. And as I always say, for the 100th time, good smoke, good drink, and good life. Take care, everybody, and thank you again.